Hello everybody, welcome to another stream from the Chess Olympiad, which is taking place in Budapest. I'm just going to recap our round 6 match that was Wales versus Luxembourg this time. Obviously a very small country, but they've still got some pretty decent chess players. Fun fact, they're actually the oldest team at the Olympiad, which might have helped us in some way. But you can see the result already. We did run out 3-1 winners, so obviously we're really happy for the team to finish on a win before the rest day, which is today while I'm recording this. But yeah, we're really happy about it as a team because these matches they're very close in ratings, and this is what we're going to get now probably towards the end of the tournament. We might have some fluctuations where we might play somebody super strong or we might play somebody super weak. But still, that's either because we've done really badly and we deserve to be down there, or up there, or if we've done well, or our opponents have either done badly and deserve to be down there, or have done really well and deserve to be up. So this next week after the rest day is really where the tournament starts, because you start to play just a little bit more similar ratings. Like my first round opponent, there was significantly outrated him, and then my second round opponent significantly outrated me, which was obviously still great to play those games, but these next few rounds now coming up are going to be really tense. But okay, let's have a look at the match against Luxembourg. You can see that our team was Jose, Greg, myself and Alex. Dan was coming off a bit of a tough loss the day before, so decided to rest. And have a couple of days off, I guess, alongside the rest day today. And you can see that we won 3-1. I think probably my game is obviously what I want to talk about the most, because I played it, so I know a few more details. If you're watching live though, then you will have seen a couple of things that happened in it. So normally I'm not really very good with time, and it is something that I've been meaning to improve on and to get better at. But actually this time, I'll just move that down, you'll see that my time is actually really good. I'll explain why in a second. Playing against Mark Mertens, 21-20, I'm 22-02, so again our grades are very similar, so anything can happen in this game, especially with me playing black as well. But actually this is a mainline French, and amazingly we are still technically in theory here. This is still theory. There is, if you look on the database, I'm just here using the Live Chess book, and there's still 39 games here at the top level, and it's actually slightly better for white in this position, but I was kind of banking on the idea that my opponent didn't know kind of what to play now within this variation. The correct move here is actually rook AE1, and the point of this move is that after queen f7 you can go bishop g3, and black can't play f4, and the point being that white can just take twice here, and then the problem is we have a checkmate on e8 when the queen's been distracted to take back on f4, so that would be checkmate because the queen is covering h7. So this is one of the moves, and after here, okay, black's played a few moves as well, but here bishop g3 and then bishop b4, and the rook d1. The game continues. Black played bishop d7, and okay, it's a playable position, shall we say. I probably knew roughly up to here by myself, and would have figured the rest out. But black's got some compensation for it, for the exchange. But white is still slightly better here. It says plus 0.9. But to be honest, whenever I play the French, it seems to tell me that anyway. It seems to tell me that white's better, and then, well, in some of my games, they don't seem to win from it. So I was happy to play this line. It was a bit of an aggressive line, and obviously a risk. If my opponent obviously played it, perfectly from this point, then he would win because he's an exchange up, and I haven't quite got enough compensation at the highest level to make it count. But he played f4, which I thought was a bit of a surprising move. I think he liked it at the time because it obviously does stop these g5 ideas, followed by f4, which traps the bishop in. But if you'd have seen maybe the previous idea of rook e1 and just playing bishop g3 immediately, then he wouldn't have to worry about it. And also, whenever I go g5, my king is very exposed. So I don't know. I think there's probably a better way of preventing this from happening. And by putting this pawn on f4, it limits his knight. He can't swap off dark squared bishops anymore, and he's actually just creating further weaknesses around the king. Of course, it means now that I can put something on e4, just like he can put something on e5 as well, eventually. But okay, we get some more moves played, and I decide to throw my queenside pawns up at him. And you can see him playing this knight c1 move. The idea is to jump it into e5, but the problem is after queen f6, I've now got 2 attackers on this pawn, and so therefore he doesn't want to play knight d3, and in fact can't play knight d3. He plays rook b1, which seems to be a bit weird, and then have just this nice retreating move, bishop c7, clearly just coming around to target the weakness. And in the end, the problem is for him mainly. So if we go back to, let's say somewhere around about here, queen f7, I had 1 hour 25 on my clock at this time, and he had 1 hour 4. So my opening preparation had kind of done a little job for me already, getting me a small time advantage. Okay, 20 minutes at this point in the game is still quite huge, so I've won that mini battle. But the problem is it's just much easier for black to play this position than it is white. White has to kind of do a bit of a defensive job and escape, whereas black, well, we can't. You can come up with quite a few plans that you can just do, and it doesn't take you that long. So you see here that I'm playing moves relatively quickly. Obviously, I slow down before I play b5 because it's a pretty big decision to take to chuck these queenside pawns up the board. But I always had a time advantage throughout the game, and after rook e4 takes, I knew that I was winning here. It was just a case of converting it. Not only have I got a protected pass pawn, but the piece that's been blocked in for ages was this light squared bishop, and that's the only bishop he cannot contest, and so now it eventually gets out. Although the first thing it does though is that well, you can see this knight can't move. He can move this pawn forward to get it to a2, but it's just too slow. So he decides to play knight e2, and then first thing my light squared bishop does when it gets out is actually take a knight off. But I'm winning a pawn here. I actually expected queen b2 here, something like this to happen. I didn't know if I was going to follow up bishop b6. I didn't think this was a good move, but maybe the computer tell me it's okay. I think I might have tried knight f5. What's the computer say about that? It likes it, but not as much as maybe bishop b6. So unsure what I would have done there. I knew I was having a think about it at the time. He made it easy for me and went queen here. Well, not easy for me. He's going for counterplay, right? He's going for counterplay against my king, trying to get some checks in and expose. And rook c1. This was just a bit desperate, right? I'm attacking the bishop. Rook c1, take the bishop off, and I think he just missed bishop d8. But he could have pushed on. He resigned here in this position. It was a nice game. And I think he just felt the time pressure. You see, he's down to 6 minutes. I'm down to 22 because I'm being careful around this point, making sure that I have got the win, because the game is won now. This is the critical moment, and we were closing in on move 40 anyway, so I was only 5 moves away from making the time control for an extra half an hour. But the thing is, he resigned here. I thought he could have tried maybe rook c6, and there's actually 2 ways for black to win now. Well, the first way is quite easy. It's queen takes f4, and if he takes the bishop, we go king here. And apart from sacrificial rook and queen moves, he can't stop this checkmate. Queen f1 check followed by queen takes g2 mate, which is pretty hard unless he gives some stuff up. But there was actually a bit of a nicer one which I was really proud of. So he didn't let me do it, but after queen h4, obviously the queen keeps in contact with the bishop. So the only critical move here is actually rook d6, because otherwise I just move my king forward and save my bishop, and then 2 pieces for the rook with the pawn, so it'd be an easy win. And then here there's a checkmate in 5. So if you're watching on record, just pause the video, have a look, and see if you can find the checkmate in 5 that I'm referring to. And it starts, you can pretty much see how it starts, I think, but I'm going to tell you the answer now. So the answer is queen e1 check, king h2, knight f1 check. You can't come to g3 because it's just checkmate straight away on g3, but if the king goes back to either square, put the knight on g3, and then king h2, and then can you see it now? If you didn't see it before, maybe this stop it here is probably if you didn't see the first one, have a look at this position and see if you can see ahead to see where the checkmate is. Checkmate in 2 now. So the answer is queen h1 check, giving away the knight, king takes knight, and then queen back to h4 checkmate. I just thought that was a nice, pretty forcing finish that I would have loved to play over the board. I don't know how, but this tournament it seems like we've got quite a few nice checkmate patterns come up, which is pretty unusual. You don't normally win games like this. Okay, I didn't win the game like this because he resigned, but that would have been a nice way to finish it. But obviously helped with a lot of preparation and knowing the variation, and I think variation selection was also quite important there as well. So pretty happy with the effort that I put in. We had also Greg was playing this round. He's not been having the greatest tournament at the moment, and unfortunately I think he just made a practical decision. I think he deliberately sacrificed this exchange. I think hoping to get some compensation for it. But actually, he just didn't have anything for it, and he just duly lost the game after that because he's an exchange down against a good opponent who's not going to let you off the hook at that point. So I think he was trying maybe a bit too hard to force the issue. That's what he said to me anyway. And so therefore, hopefully, he'll come back stronger another day. We had on board one note. We had our our little hero, shall we say, Jose, who managed to beat an IM. Well, he's an IM himself, Jose is as well, so this is something he does on a regular basis. And his game was really quite unusual because he went for quite an interesting idea that at this point, usually when knight b5 is played, usually you're kind of taught to save your bishop. But actually he had a really quite novel idea here to actually take back with the pawn. And okay, what do we learn in school or in chess school? Double pawns are bad, don't give yourself double pawns. And here's an IM giving himself double pawns. And the idea is, when you look at it, quite a simple one, that the double pawns actually control a lot of central squares like this. You know, white wants to eventually put a knight into e5, and you're preventing that from happening. And actually, there's nowhere really for the white pieces to go. It's quite an unusual way to play, and there's quite a few nice things here. For example, developing the rook to a6, and you'll see this rook on a6 actually come out. He pushes his h pawn up the board, and then also like taking this knight, he plays rook b6 just to take back with the rook. And I think he does make maybe one small mistake. But in the end, it was just a nice, pretty finish. And actually, it was so pretty that it didn't feature on, I think, ChessBase India. And there's a video going around of, I think, Sagar Shah calling Jose, or saying about Jose's play that he played like Magnus, or played like Carlsen, I think is the term he used. But okay, I mean, it's a really good win for Jose. Good morale-boosting win as well. And yeah, he's definitely on form here in this game. So this gave us, I think at that time we were 2-1 up in the match, and with just Alex left to play. But the problem for Alex's opponent was, around about this time, we were, where were we? We were about into his game, probably. Yeah, probably somewhere like this, I should imagine. And you know, Alex knows that we're 2-1 up. We only need a half to draw to win the match. So Alex doesn't need to press in this position. Alex is actually very, very comfortable. He's not losing for sure, and therefore he just has to hold. But the problem is for his opponent Pierre, in order to try and save the match, he has to open the position up eventually, and he can't take a draw, and therefore eventually when he does try to win, he plays a move g5 first, still everything okay, but now he plays f5, and it just starts to open up, and it's still very easy for Alex to actually draw this game from this point, but he's just starting to creep back into it. You know, for example, every endgame here is just bad for black, because this pawn on h5 is really weak. Pawn on c6 is being targeted by the light square bishop, whereas white's pawns are all on dark squares. So the bishop endgame is really good. The bishop's being on now makes it really good for white too. He's got, okay, this pawn is isolated in the centre, so if the king ever sits on this square, it's going to constantly attack it, and black will have to defend it. You know, white's pawns are just a little bit harder to attack, and the knight can sit here threatening to come into this square as well. So there's just so much going for white in this position, and even though the computer might say that it's level, it's just so difficult for black to play, especially with low time as well. And Alex duly took one pawn, took another pawn, I think, and then eventually just swapped off to a one endgame and did some nice calculation here at the end as well. And then the nice finish of queen takes b2. And so, okay, I think he would have taken the draw if it was offered early enough. in the game, but we ran out 3-1 winners in this match, and obviously very happy with our performance. That means that we've got stronger opposition. That'll be tomorrow now. On round 7, we've got Singapore, who look like a really strong team. Usually they are strong. They're stronger than us for sure. We fancy our chances, and so hopefully we're going to get 4 good games tomorrow. I'm not going to tell you who's playing because I don't want to give away team information, although it could actually change. It's only like 10 o'clock here, so you only submit them before 10 a.m. on the day of the round as to who's playing. But okay, thanks very much for watching, everybody. Hope you're enjoying the games that we're sending back there, and there should be some football. How shall I say it? Media coverage coming out soon. So hopefully we can share that with you at some point. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.